Welcome to The Good Show, episode number 10, powered by Asus. I'm joined by the desk once again by Semmler. How you doing, Sam?
Not too shabby, mate. How you doing?
Not too shabby?
Not too shabby today.
Feeling good, feeling bad, feeling okay?
Feeling a little under the weather, but I think we'll make ends meet. We'll be all right.
All right. We'll be fine. And, of course, we bring in our guests. This time we've still got the regular Newman.
Regular one. Yeah.
Regular Newman.
Regular one, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, we've given him a handheld microphone, studio budgets, we've got cutbacks.
It's falling
Esports
apart.
has gone downhill.
It's crazy. It's like garbage everywhere and everything's falling apart.
That's just our conversation. And joining him is, of course, going to be Greykarn, originally from Rakakar in esports since 2003. Says on his Twitter, everything he tweets is no reflection of him. And currently working for DreamHack full-time as well. Head of, I would say esports. I don't know what you would say. What would you say?
Head of everything. No, I don't know. I'm doing a little bit of everything.
All right.
Boss mode.
Good.
It's
What?
a good vague
Boss
answer.
mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry about the mic there, Newman. We'll fix that. We'll fix it for next week.
Yeah. Sounds good. It's okay.
What happened to that mic?
I don't know,
I was
dude.
convinced we had 4 mics.
We
out.
break a lot of things.
We broke it.
Yeah, we break a lot of things. All right, yeah, so we're really happy to have Greykarn on. I can't really talk to you much about DreamHack,
Why not?
because otherwise it feels like we're some sort of DreamHack propaganda
And
show.
that's true. That's true.
Because we had fucking Hellspawn every time, we've had Robert twice.
now, yeah.
And even though you're the guy that we should actually talk to about DreamHack,
Yeah.
as opposed to Robert,
We shouldn't talk about DreamHack.
we probably shouldn't bother
Yeah.
talking about DreamHack.
It's a bit boring.
It is just
It's a boring event. A boring event.
fed up of it. Fed
There's
up
nothing
of it.
interesting going on with DreamHack anyway, is it?
No, not at all.
Well,
It's
never.
totally boring.
We can talk
very
about
slow.
Rakakar though,
Yeah.
so we'll do that in a little bit.
Yeah,
But before we
sure.
get to that and we come back with Greykarn and Newman, of course we start off the show just talking about some of the results that have happened last week in esports, and Sam will give you the rundown, and if there's anything interesting, I'm sure we're open up to discussion. So Sam, what's been going on?
Lots, actually. It's been a fairly busy weekend, guys. StarCraft 2 starting things off. We got an upset already. Zictomini, somebody who hasn't got a lot of face time in the tournaments, not a lot of news at all has been printed about him, has gone ahead and taken the WCS UK tournament. And this is over sponsored players such as The Muslim, such as Bling, and many others who flew into London to compete in this tournament. And now Zictomini has gone ahead and destroyed them all and taken the finals. It was a fantastic series. If you have the chance, go back and watch it. Definitely worth your time. His creep spread is insane, but he walked away with 6K USD in his pocket and a paid flight to the championships. The Muslim walks away with 3K, and Johnny Rico, another guy who's been getting a lot more face time recently, took home about 1,350 USD, and he also gets a flight to the championship. So congratulations to Zictomini for coming out on top. It was a bit of a stacked pile by UK standards, but truly, impressive play.
I think we can almost talk about WCS as one of the first
right off.
things to talk about before we get into some of the more results. Newman, you about to lift the microphone up to your face there. Either that. Go on, what have you got to say?
Well, I mean, I think I said last week, didn't I, that the UK field is a lot stronger than people think it is. There's a lot of really good players. I mean, Blink's results were on a scale to like a 1 to 10. I think some people would call it like a strong 1, or some people maybe call it like a weak 2, something like that. I mean, it was a horrible result. But interesting tournament. A lot of good Zergs.
I love the nickname, Johnny Rico.
Yeah, it's an amazing nickname.
Best nickname.
That is stylish.
We'll see what happens in the future. I mean, if they nerf Zergers or not.
But rather than just the players, obviously the
Yeah.
ones that got through, what did you guys make of the event? Did you have any time to kind of watch it? Obviously it was ESL produced, and also Blizzard's event, that would have been backing the prize money and production.
Basically all of the money.
Yeah, but ESL were, the guys that produced it, and they brought in Tasteless and Artosis, and also Red Eye came in to host. I actually didn't see any of the event.
Wasn't Quad 5 involved in some way?
Quad,
Like in-
quad 5, Quad V.
Quad V.
I don't think so. Maybe they, I don't know, maybe Red Eye is Quad V, I know, but I mean, I don't
Because
think
he
they're
had
really
a
company.
Quad Wii microphone,
Oh, okay.
Did he?
stuff like
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, not an ESL.
I wonder what he's
TV.
trying to do, Red Eye. He's worth having on the show in the future. For those of you who don't know, Red Eye was one of the old school esport guys, specialised originally in Unreal Tournament, if I remember correctly. He was quite fond of Unreal Tournament. And him and a couple of others started up a production company called Quad V. And Quad V basically had to do everything we do now in the very hard way, very expensive way. Back in the day when streaming was friggin' expensive, streaming equipment was friggin' expensive, and they had a whole host of really good commentators. Tosspot, Joe Miller, D-Man I think was also involved, and they had a more across the board. And then he kind of disappeared for a bit, Red Eye, and then he came back and hosted, and he looks like he's interested in doing more, because didn't he tweet something about, hey, to you, didn't he tweet something to you, Greykarn, about like he should talk to you about hosting WCS Nordic qualifiers?
Yeah, I think so. I actually talked to him after that. I like Red Eye. I would love to have him on any of our events. He's one of the guys, together with Toastbot and a few others, that can host all different games. He's an experienced guy.
Yeah, I have no point other than that. But
I
like
mean,
the event
looked really
seemed
good.
really good.
Yeah.
Like 20,000, I heard concurrents.
Yeah.
For a UK event, that's massive for UK players. I think Tasteless and Artosis definitely probably brought in a bit of a fan following there.
Yeah.
But anything more to say on the event?
I actually just watched the Saturday broadcast, so the first day, and I'm not sure it was totally ESL TV, not at least the German production, because the camera work and like the production was not as great as the German qualifiers, in my opinion. So I'm not totally sure it was
It's
a
the
pure ESL TV production.
It's the same people that run ESL UK that run this event, basically.
Okay. I think Tasteless and Artosis did a good job, but could expect
I mean,
more.
it's good for UK sports. It's good for.
Hey, we got Red Eye in chat.
Cool.
Do you reckon we should give him a call?
Yeah, do so. Sure.
Yeah? Fuck
Call
it.
him in.
Let's see if he's up for a call. Yeah, I'll get my Skype mic on. He's got a couple of... He had like 2 Skypes last time I checked. And he's not online on either of them. Damn it, Paul Channeler. Oh, slacking. Red Eye. Get on Skype.
I mean, we got some quotes from him if you want.
Huh?
We got some quotes from him if we want. If we can't get him on
Yeah.
Skype, I have quotes here.
I'm going to get my mic on. It's going to be all official.
Call Red Eye. Shit.
I wonder if he's actually going to get on Skype and contact me, because I don't see him on my Skype right now.
But was he the one mentioned?
You can just call me, Paul, because I've got you as 2 Skypes. And you should have my Skype.
He may have. Yeah, look at the chat.
Okay, I'll call you. So.
It's an exciting show.
No, really.
I'm actually just talking to Kenny, like,
Can you get?
because he said we went to a party together and he ended up getting the girl I was hitting on. So I messaged him and I was like, I have no idea who was that girl. And he just told me, but I don't know who she is. But good job for him. Incoming call from Paul. All right, Paul, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
We can hear you as well. Is everything okay on Stream Trance? Okay, cool.
Yes. How you doing?
Welcome to the Good Show.
The Too Good Show.
No, don't say that. My ego doesn't
doing, buddy?
need it, Red Eye. So, yeah, we were just doing a little recap of WCS, which you hosted, and Tasteless and Artosis were there. I think it was probably one of the best UK events to date from what I've heard from the numbers and a little bit of the production. What did you make of the event overall?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think it was probably easily the best professional esports tournament I've ever had the privilege of working on or being involved in the UK, by a long way as well. It was just a mixture of everything, really. It all sort of just worked. You know, had great casters, great players, good games, great crowd. Crowd were phenomenal, by the way.
Yeah, how many seats were there?
I think I don't know, but there was like maybe 500, 600 people in there. It was just insane.
Yeah,
and it was great theatre as well. Yeah, it was just, you know, Ben and Luke pulled off a phenomenal tournament. They really did.
Yeah. Now, who was actually involved in terms of pulling it off? Was it just ESL, or was there some Quad V involved there? I mean, what was happening behind the scenes?
Yeah, there was some. Most of the guys from Quad V production were used for cameras and production and overlays and what have you. So yeah, those guys. It was an unbranded event for them, but it was most of the old Quad V guys that you would have known.
Yeah. Okay. I think Newman said it wasn't as good as the German, the camera work.
No, I think he's probably right. I think that's fair. I think, you know, when ESL do an event, they do. You know, I mean, when we did Intel Extreme Masters, they took like 200 people to work on it. I think Quad V had 7 people. So, you know, in comparison, yeah, they're always going to do a much better job. But I think the Quad V guys did a good job.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting just to mention Quad V to some of our viewers, because a lot of them probably don't know much about Quad V. Quad V, as I kind of recapped it very quickly, were the guys making streams happen before we even thought streams were going to happen, if you know what I mean, in terms of equipment.
Yeah, when it cost us like 15 grand to go and do an event just in bandwidth.
Yeah, you guys were paying that.
Why we you know, why we couldn't do too many events.
Yeah, but do you want to just tell? I mean, I want to know where Quad V kind of stand, because I remember when Joe Miller, you know, came to work for Fnatic alongside me, and he had to give up some of his shares in Quad V, and then Tosspot was also one of the guys involved with Quad V, and he went off and worked with Streamworks. And then, you know, you kind of always seemed like the guy that were gonna, you know, continue the brand of Quad V. As well as Ollie, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But can you just tell us a little bit about, because I think it's interesting for people to know a little bit behind the scenes that there is, you know, event production working in England and probably across Europe when the opportunities arise. I mean, where is Quad V? Like, what is it doing?
Well, I mean, I don't want to hijack the show or bore people, but it's still going, but it's going in a very different capacity. And I think that the problem with Quad V is, there's a number of problems, but you know, it still exists. It's still a bunch of volunteers, effectively, that will get hired for weekend work and what have you. We're still a bunch of passionate people that just enjoy what we're doing. So that hasn't really changed. Stu Tosspot's still involved, but just in the background. Same for me, really. I've not really been involved with the company for a couple of years now. I'm still a shareholder, but I don't really get involved. Ollie pretty much runs it single-handedly these days, alongside D-Man. So, you know, they'll go off and they'll do the odd events, and some of them are branded events that they do on their own, and some of them are where they're hired as a production team, and they're keeping really busy, I can tell you that. They're doing a lot in the background, but maybe not so much in the forefront anymore, and I think the problem with that is that our business model hasn't really moved with the times. You know, we probably need to hook up with Owned or Twitch and, you know, take it forward on that way of doing it and get out and do more events. But the problem is that we're all a bunch of old guys, really, and we've all got full-time jobs. So I think, you know, we'd all have to give up our full-time jobs and go and do something else and risk potentially not earning any money to pay the bills for kids and food. But it's still going. It will probably continue to keep going. Whether it changes its business model or not, I don't know.
How old are you now, Red-Eye?
I'm 23, mate.
Yeah. So.
Hey, I heard that, Greykarn. There's no need to laugh.
So, what midlife crisis car are you going to buy for yourself?
I actually, it's a true story. I actually bought a guitar at the beginning of the year, and I bought a sports car.
Yeah,
and,
see?
Yeah.
True midlife crisis.
A 21-year-old girlfriend, and I'll be done.
All right, yeah. Well, I mean, we're you know, if you send us over some pictures, we'll roam the streets and show people for you.
I'm pretty sure a night out with you, James, would probably help me fulfill that dream pretty quickly.
I'll be a 21-year-old girl for you, sure, Red-Eye, if that's what you mean.
I was just looking for a wingman, dude. There's no need to go that far.
Sorry. I had the whole setup as well. All right, so to talk about you, Red-Eye, you've become a little bit more prominent back in esports. I have to say, in terms of we're seeing you doing a little bit more hosting. You know, we're seeing you interested in doing some more hosting. Alongside your full-time job, and I know you've got kids as well, 4 girls, if I remember correctly. Maybe it's not 4. How many girls do you have?
It's 2.
2. All right, I was drunk.
At least only 2 I know of.
Okay. I was maybe thinking of Odie for some reason. So what do you want to do in the future of esports? Where can we kind of see your direction going in terms of where you want to be and what you want to do?
I'd love to come back full time. You know, if the right company or the right tournament or the right organisation came along and offered me, a reasonable standard of money, so I could continue to just pay my bills and go off and do something I love doing, then I'd consider it. But I also have a fantastic job with a company called Fresh Egg as head of social media. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a really fantastic job as well. So it's a tough point in my life really. I'm sort of torn between 2 things I really love doing, and to do more esports, I need to not do my head of social media job, but to do my head of social media job, I'd need to not do esports. So I think there'll probably come a point in time in the next maybe 12 months or so where I need to probably make a decision one way or the other, and that will probably define my career. But in the short term, I've got great support from Fresh Egg. They'll let me go off and do tournaments as and when I need to. And so I'm sort of gun for hire really, and anyone that wants to come along and use me as a presenter or as a commentator for games that I've really enjoyed doing, I'm up for it. And that's pretty much where I am. I think that the biggest change for me in the last 12 months, and probably why I've sort of popped back into people's minds, is because I've done more tournaments. I think I've done about 12 tournaments in the last 7 months, which is I think more than I've done in the last 3 years. But the reason for that was that my daughter no longer lives with me, and she was with me full time for nearly 2 years. So that restricted me quite heavily in terms of, actually restriction is probably the wrong word, but my daughter comes first. So obviously I spent more time with her and was limited to how many events I could do, whereas now she's back with her mum, and that's freed up a bit more time for me. So I've been a bit more available this year.
So just to ask, I'm going to ask you not a tough question here, but I'm going to put you
on the spot. That's not like you,
on
James.
the spot. Because I think it's interesting. Because no offense, Red Eye, like someone like you that wants to work full time in esports pretty much jumps all the queues for a job. I'm not like kind of getting up your ass because you're a midlife crisis guy and I don't want to do that. But in a way, your experience, etc., puts you in many ways ahead of the field if you show that interest in terms of actually wanting to get involved. So if you were to work for an esports company, do you have any that you have your eye on that you would think that would be good?
Oh, blimey, that is a tough spot question. Luckily, I think these days there are so many great tournaments and great companies around. I mean, Twitch.
You're so bullshitting us now. Come on. They're all good, but come on, you've got to have a few favourites.
Twitch are doing great things. I really love what Twitch are doing right now. I love what MLG have been doing. I've talked to Sundance a little bit. ESL have been doing some fantastic stuff. I love being involved in this. The Intel Extreme Masters final for me was one of probably my most enjoyable events I've ever done in my entire career, probably on the rival of 2005 Singapore WCG, which is, for me, still the most amazing event I've ever been to. So, any of those guys came knocking on my door, I'd be jumping up and down ready to sign.
You didn't mention any like hardware companies or peripheral manufacturers. Why not?
Because the difficulty is I get a ton of stuff through the post from pretty much everyone on the planet, wanting me to either just sponsor it or endorse it or say good things about it, and I feel kind of bad that I don't do any of those things, despite the fact that people like GTE Sports and Roccat and all those kind of cool guys send me cool stuff. Steel Series as well sent me some stuff recently. So I don't know. I don't know if a hardware company would really suit me, but
all right. Have we just lost him?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, you're still here. So, any questions from Greykarn, Newman? Anything you want to ask Red Eye about WCS or just Red Eye in general?
Not really.
Not really?
No.
I'm bored of the guy as well. Greykarn?
No, I think it's good that Red Eye is back in action, because I said to him at DreamHack as well, we felt that he was away for 1 or 2 years or
hey,
something. Yeah.
I helped Paul get to DreamHack.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Put me in touch with Paradox.
Yeah,
but,
how was that? Because you were commentating a war game.
Good fun. Yeah, absolutely. It was good fun. It was kind of like old English. It's like an FPS with swords. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought it looked shit, but No
not?
offense.
Actually,
I thought,
Sounds like shit as
honest
well.
to God, right? I thought it looked so shit that the only person that can commentate this is Red Eye. Because you can commentate a lot of crap, Red Eye. Serious
I
to God.
can commentate on you washing up, James.
That would never happen. The washing up
Dude,
part.
it would.
But yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know. I'll check out that game from Paradox and see how it goes. I'm excited for some of their other titles. But all right then, Red Eye, thanks for coming on
worries,
and
great to
giving
have
us
you
a
on.
little
Thanks, man.
insight on what you're doing for the future. And we'll get back to what we're doing. So enjoy the show.
Cheers, buddy. Have a good show.
All right. No one's really taken time to speak to Red Eye since he's been back. And you know
That's
what?
weird.
Like JP McDaniel did Real Talk, and
Yeah.
Red Eye said, "I'll happily come on and do a Real Talk." And then JP McDaniel like lined up like Total Biscuit and everyone else apart from Red Eye, and I'm like, dude, you need to get because
It's all about
he's a
the
great
viewership, though.
storyteller, Red Eye. If you actually sit
He has
down,
a long history as well.
yeah.
Well, I think hasn't he like commentated most of the WCG events as well? It's must have a shitload of stories from over there. know Quad V usually do the-
Quad V
yeah.
had contracts with WCG originally when it was good, and did proper games, but not so much anymore. But anyway, let's
Like 5 years ago.
let's try and move on, and we'll get to more topics. So a great WCS event, crowd was awesome, stream numbers are awesome. I think that's really amazing for the UK, and it just.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think the best thing that's happened to UK is the Barcraft scene out of StarCraft 2, because I'm sure they're big enough.
possible.
Huh?
JP's in chat. He says he asked him last night. So chill.
Oh, apparently JP asked him last night.
No, Red asked or whatever.
All right. Yeah, but JP, you need to get better at interviewing people, by the way, because you're leading too many questions in a way that they're answering to your question rather than actually just an open-ended question. Because when he asked about Total Biscuit, he kind of said he said it in a way that already kind of suggested that you want to talk about Total Biscuit and me and there being an unhappy relationship there. When in actual fact, you should have just said, tell us about you and Too Good. How does that work in a relationship way? And
He did get what he wanted, though. He wanted the controversy, so it's
yeah, but that's
smart.
the thing. But
goal.
if you're gonna do those, if you're gonna interview and you're gonna ask purposely controversial questions, then you look like a dick as an interviewer, as opposed to when you interview,
Well,
do an open-ended question, and then if they go controversial on it, it's because that's what they want to talk about. And if they answer to politically correct, you can then come in afterwards and say, well, what about this situation, rather than bring it up at the beginning.
Yeah, but I mean,
JP,
most
Daniel, get better at your job.
I only watched
Christ.
one episode, the one
Yeah?
with you. It was you talking for 3 hours. So.
Did you watch it all?
Yeah.
so boring.
All of it.
I heard everything before, but
Yeah.
it's fun to double confirm if it was true or.
If I'm that big of a megalomaniac, I wish I was. All right, so let's get back onto the news after I slated JP McDaniel, which I do enjoy a little bit.
Well-
Good job overall, JP.
He's recording another live or real talk with Destiny tonight, actually.
Yeah?
There was questions posted in the StarCraft Reddit as to if you had a question, you could ask him. So, we'll get more content from him in a minute. More StarCraft news that happened this week. The OSL qualifiers wrapped up with no foreigners qualifying, sadly. We do have a list, however. San Oz Parting, Vampire Bjorn, NKP, Min, Symbol, Seal, Coca, Sniper, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have all qualified to complete in the OSL's opening season. Let's see.
Did any foreigners actually try and qualify?
I believe so, yeah. At least the ones that are resident in South Korea, I'm sure. Let me see. We'll move on now into Dota 2. POTM Bottom took first place in the Join Dota Open 3, and they netted about €500 doing so. MTW won the Gosu League Season 2, taking 2K USD.
Yeah, MTW are just crazy
Stomping
right
right
now.
now.
Have you
On
been
fire.
following MTW?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Especially on DreamHack. I was
Yeah.
impressed they won that fight.
Yeah, one DreamHack,
Yeah.
one our arena show, which was actually quite a tough win for them, because it was like one of the first times that I think they were like showing how good they were with Cinderin and the team, and then they ended up winning the international qualifier, which was actually I think before DreamHack, and now they've just won the Gosu League, and Gosu League is a big league in terms
there's a
of
lot
it's
of
very
competition.
prestigious. It's a part of Gosu Gamers. So I don't know if you've been following that. But yeah, MTW on a roll and looking really good going into the international number 2. So we'll see how they continue. So congratulations to them. So also in
Absolutely.
Quake Live.
Yeah, and Quake Live, 0-4 actually takes out the DreamHack champion Rafa this weekend in the CSN NA Duel Finals. They net about, I think he took about $40 for first place. Bloodline champions, however, Pomelipu took first place this weekend in the arena, taking 300 USD for their bar spending. Woohoo! Yeah, but congratulations to Pomelipu. It was a long time coming. They truly deserved it. They are one of the hardest working teams out there, so congratulations to them. And actually taking second place was Hotel, another really hard working team in the scene. So truly happy to see that. There were big upsets in the tournament, so congratulations to both teams.
Yeah, so not much really in the news.
A little bit light.
Anything else you guys can think of that's kind of results that's impressed you? Apart from Bling getting a 1 out of 10 in WC.
There is one thing in StarCraft 2
The
that
MLG
sort
event.
of
Yeah.
won the EU Invite Online qualifiers for MLG Summer Arena.
MLG Summer Arena, that's coming up in like a week and a half, I guess.
A couple weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Couple weeks.
I think it's really cool that sort of wins that because he's an up-and-coming Swedish player. He was the runner-up in the Swedish Championship, lost against Torsin with I think 2-3 or something.
Is he playing Zerg as well?
He's playing Zerg. He's probably one of the new big Swedish players coming. I think so.
It's been the weekend of the new players, to be honest.
I think he just joined Western Wolves as well.
Yeah.
didn't he? Yeah.
I don't know much about that
Yeah, Western Wolves have
organization.
got a new StarCraft 2 division now,
Yeah.
so we'll talk about it in a little bit. Yeah, so not much in terms of big results, but also the summer's always packed in terms of up-and-coming tournaments, and we'll be talking about that in just a little moment. But before we get to the news and what's going to be happening in the near future, and also hopefully an interview with Greykarn, maybe a little bit more focus on news and some of just esports in general along the Rakakar side of things, there is actually a ASUS competition available to you. The ASUS competition, if you don't know, we're supported by ASUS and we're going to be helping them with production of ASUS ROG in the future. But the competition that they've got running is actually to win a pretty beefy graphics card. Of course, it always comes down to me to tell you about what this graphics card's like, but apparently if you go on to facebook.com/ROG Nordic, and I'm sure people will start chatting to me in a moment and saying silly things on stream, which I look forward to. It's a Mars 2. Sorry?
It's one of the most powerful video cards in the world.
It's the one of the most powerful graphics cards in the world. Trant said that with eyes of excitement.
Emphasizing with the hands and everything.
Yeah, so you can actually get possibly your hands on one of these. Go on to facebook.com/ROG Nordic, like the page, hit the last ROG Mars 2 contest, and the rules of how to win are here. And I'm not sure what they are. But apparently it's a really fast graphics card. How fast is it, Trance?
You have
Over 9,000.
you have
Makes no sense.
5,700 unread emails.
I have how many unread emails? 5,745 actually. But I'd also like to point out on my other account,
How can you sleep at night?
I have over 15,000
Yeah.
on a big pile of money. Greykarn, on a big pile of money.
We determined that you had like 20K or something on Rice.
I don't know.
Good times.
A lot of it's just spam.
Yeah.
Gmail.
Yeah,
You-
like,
you never
need
get
to start-
spam.
No, it is. It's like DreamHack emails, MLG emails, ESL
Threats.
emails.
We
I'm
want to
like,
send you money.
I'm like,
Can't
it's like,
get an invoice.
click here to receive a chance of winning money from DreamHack, and I'm like, these
It's
guys,
okay.
bastards.
If people on stream wonder why they don't get any replies, now they know.
No one emails me, man.
No one emails you.
Go figure.
That's just my mum, over and over, asking how I am and where I am. All right, so we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll go straight into the news, and of course a little chat with Greykarn, who we've got in the studio from Rakakar. So we'll see you in just a moment, and we'll be back in a second. Alright guys, welcome back to The Good Show, episode 10, part 2, powered by Asus. Just went for a small break, and I think it's actually worth probably just talking to Greykarn now, so people get to know a little bit about you before you start having opinions on the news.
Sure.
Because otherwise they'll be like, who the fuck is this? Where's Hellspawn?
They should know who this is.
Yeah. Alright, so,
don't think so.
Greykarn, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks.
Where's Hellspawn?
He's actually in his summer house or having vacation with his parents, I think.
You Swedes.
Yeah.
You Swedes. What are you doing to the microphone, Newman? Why are you nosing the microphone?
I'm not playing with it. I'm bored.
Does he need lessons?
Jesus, Newman. Sorry about this, Greykarn. We'll replace
No worries.
other guests in the
Yeah.
future as well. So I want to talk to you primarily about one of your projects that people should know you from,
Yep.
rather not always from DreamHack, which was rakakar.se. We pull a lot of news off there for the show, as long as well with ESFI World and just generally our Reddit thread. Rakakar.se was originally started by you and Ponderosa,
Correct?
your partner in crime.
Yeah.
You were originally a Counter-Strike player
Yeah.
a long time ago. You played pretty decently.
Yeah, I was at least in some top 10 team in Sweden, I think. But
Didn't
at
you
that
play-
time, top 10 was pretty good.
Didn't you play in the Swedish eSport League?
Yeah, exactly.
it's
So
really good.
I played versus SK and the other teams a lot.
And you started Rakakar because... What was the reason?
Because the reason was actually that back then, it was 2005, 2006, all websites were very boring. All websites looked like GotFrag, Fragbite, SK Gaming, the old design, where it looked like a database, something like a database. It was only results. There were no stories. And if they did some kind of article, it was probably Thorin or someone like that wrote maybe 10 pages of text. And that's the reason we started Rakakar from the beginning, because all other websites were boring. And we actually copied the biggest newspaper in Sweden, their layout, which is more of a tabloid thing, Aftonbladet, which is a company we were working together now with DreamHack, but we copied
Did you tell them you copied them?
Yeah,
Now you work with
I
them?
actually told them in
What
an
they
office
say?
with 5 people, so they actually laughed about it. Or they actually had read Rakakar already, so they liked it. But with
Of course
having
they did. They designed it.
yeah, but the thing is, big pictures, big headlines, and try to create articles with a different angle compared to other websites. Make
Okay.
it more fun, more rumors, more trash talk, have more fun. And we were inspired by the gaming blogs in the traditional gaming world, where you have Destructoid, Kotaku, and all these websites. Yeah, as well.
Paris Hilton.
So-
Okay, and so Rakakar back then, originally I guess it was quite small.
Yeah,
And then you
Very
went
small.
quite big. Because a lot of people, even like DJ Wheat says, he gets his news on a Swedish site
yeah,
and just
but-
Google
But
Translate.
we acted big from beginning. We had the advertisement from the first day. It was just like junk advertisement from QPad, or like we just had.
We realized this.
They're one of our sponsors on the show,
we
man.
just had our friends advertisement on the page. I'm friends of QPad, so
You can say that.
to Krister and the other guys. And we acted from the beginning. I think the first year we had like still 100 readers or something. It was Newman, BDS, and someone more. And we acted as we had like 10,000 readers every day. But I think suddenly we had that, so and it started to grow.
So I have to ask you now then, where do you see Rakakar and how it fits in with the other news websites? Because no offense, I'm not trying to be, belittling on the project. I really like Rakakar, but it seems a lot thinner.
Seems a lot.
Thinner. As in, it doesn't seem like it gets the attention from the original founders and some of the staff, that to me, it brings up headlines, but it kind of originally, not originally, but in its peak period, it seemed very strong, and now
Today
it seems a little bit thin.
Yeah, I think Rakaka went downhill maybe 1 year ago when Hellspawn joined DreamHack as well, because then 3 of the people from Rakaka basically got a full-time esports job, which is much better than writing news on weekends and evenings. We try to keep the website alive. We have tried to find other people that can organize and structure the website, but it's really hard since it's volunteer work in the end. We only pay people to go to other events, buy cameras and stuff like that. We don't have the finance to actually hire one full-time editor-in-chief. Maybe we will have in the future. So I think we have a problem with that. We're trying to find a way to maybe redevelop Rakaka a little bit. We actually, I think in the first 3-4 years, we were on top of things. We actually were the first website live streaming in Sweden. We were first in Europe with live blogging from events. We were first in the world to do the rumor thing and all that. But today we're not really first anymore. We're falling behind. So I think either we shut down the website or we will try to go for world domination again.
That's quite a big statement.
Yeah.
World domination.
Yeah, but we need to do something, and it will happen soon.
Is that how you feel? Or is that how some of
I
the
think
other?
that the whole editorial crew feels that.
Okay.
But we have some ideas, and we still have some funds to go to some cool events. And I think with so many cool games coming up, for example, the Dota 2 community is growing in Sweden, and with the tournament we had at DreamHack, I think Dota 2 is an interesting game to cover. And
Now,
also the other
I think it would
esports.
be a fucking shame if you would shut
We will not.
the style down. I mean, do you feel that, like, I mean, let's talk about news websites, because you obviously have quite a good, you have more knowledge about this than me.
Yeah.
News websites, when I broke down what makes money in gaming on a few shows ago, and I said, people who make the games, people who stream, and just, people who make product to play the game on, the top tier of, in terms of esports money tree, if you can call it that. And then the news websites were at the bottom.
I don't think so, really. I think
Within esports, because it's just...
I think news sites is still a very powerful and important part of the esports scene. Maybe it's not making
it's not
enough money,
profit.
but
Yeah,
if you
it's
look
the
at
profit.
Godfrag, if you look at Fragster, not Fragster,
Fragster.
Readmore, I think both those original companies made a really good exit when they sold the company. So even though they didn't make the advertisement money, maybe they still got a good business. They created a good business, and they actually sold it to a good price. So I think the news sites still have an important part, and I think we will see more.
Well,
things
I
like
don't
that.
disagree with how important they are to the scene.
Yeah.
But it's the financial side of it.
Sustainability.
It's the sustainability. Because how many people are actually getting paid from working on Rakaka? I'm guessing 0.
Nobody.
And-
It's basically the same everywhere. Some websites, like Fragbite, pays a small sum to each for each news item and stuff like that.
Yeah, but don't they have 2 full-time though?
Yeah, they have
So,
2
yeah.
full-time, yeah. But they are also, they sold their company to a big media house, a Swedish media house. So basically, it's part of a bigger media company.
Yeah.
So do you not think as well that some of the news sites have somewhat not been replaced, but have been maybe less important with just the use of Reddit?
Yeah, and live streaming. Like all the players are live streaming directly on Twitch, for example. You have Reddit, you have Twitter, you have Facebook. The landscape changed totally 2 years ago when all these new things, blogs and Twitter and everything has been around for like 5, 6, 7 years. But suddenly the esport people realized,
Found Twitter.
yeah, they found Twitter, they found all these tools, and Twitch launched and got a huge success. And the landscape changed totally, and I think the websites, the news sites, they just stand there. They stood there, and they didn't do anything. Like I think some of the websites, especially Rakaka is a good example, was they basically didn't catch up.
Yeah. So in your opinion, what do news sites and websites need to do to be ahead of the game?
Yeah, to challenge Reddit. it's basically impossible. You can't really challenge that to be the first. But I think ESFI, all these websites with quality content, have a possibility to actually challenge all those websites because you offer something else. If you look at the traditional media market, you always have a room for quality content, and I think it's the same in the esport world.
Yeah.
You can't read forums and Reddit forever.
Yeah, I mean, you need quality content and basically opinions from people that matter. I think that's the part that can
So, all right.
make it work.
This is my proposal to you, Greykarn.
Yeah, sure.
You ready?
Go
Here we
ahead.
go.
I wanted to start a news website, right?
Yeah.
Just because I knew that it wasn't going to make a lot of money, but I thought it was important to do a good English news website.
Yeah.
And my focus would be on making sure you get people to events to do coverage.
Yep.
Because I think that's one of the stronger things that, I mean, you can have a site when you have a lot of volunteers where people can write blogs, they can write quality content. But at the same time, if you go to the events and you actually get quality content, then it gets posted on the Twitters, on the Reddits, and still brings it back into a single kind of entity, which is the portal.
Yep.
Okay? So, rather than shutting down Greykarn, if you're going to go for world domination, right, if you want, we'll take a meeting at a time. I'll put some of my finances with
Sorry.
some of my money in with the project of Greykarn, try and make it English and focus on getting people to events, but then also do stuff like making sure that we have the ability to do to have a lot of community posted news in terms of blogs as well as what they want to talk about, and at the same time to kind of fuel that, I'll go out and I'll get lots of hardware from lots of sponsors, and then we can do competitions where people who write the best blogs of each month can win like a graphics card and stuff. So you have like a section of it which is kind of bloggy, you have the video section, and then you have the news article and all the main posts of like what's going on with the people that are responsible and the editors, etc. And then you try and get people to the events across Europe and America to actually do decent coverage, and don't focus again on results because I think it's just a time sink.
Yeah.
I think results really, I mean, I know ESFI do a good job, but I don't really go to any websites now to look for results so much. And I just think it's a big time sink, results.
Yeah.
So, are you interested?
We can talk about it, of course. Everyone that wants to help Greykarn, I'm open to discuss.
Yeah.
Is it the real problem finding good editors, though?
Yeah, it's really hard.
So when you launched Greykarn World, you had some really
No, it's
couple
not a
good
real
ones.
problem to find good editors.
It
it's
is.
a problem
It's a really
to
big problem.
motivate good editors.
You
Yeah.
need to find the really good ones that can that know esports and that basically can write stories with the new perspective on things.
Yeah, exactly.
Not just copy press releases. Basically.
The problem is not to find a editor that can write stuff, write proper English, write a good piece of editorial something. But the problem is to find to find a guy or someone that can think and to write stories from their head and not write what's already out there.
Yeah, find something, someone that can write something interesting and provocative, maybe. And
Yeah.
People are
from a new
questioning me
perspective.
because we haven't even got our website up yet for the studio. That I would want to be involved in yours. That's because it's not.
That's Trans fault.
No, I had the guy. I was like, hey, make me a website, and he was like, okay, and then he's like, oh, I'm really busy, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, when you're not busy, he's doing it for free.
Yeah.
So he's really nice to do that. So we'll just wait and see. But yeah, okay.
We'll just be waiting for a bit. Wow.
I don't care to own it because I don't think it's going to make any money. I just think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
I think it's like one of the best stepping stones for people that want to come into esports as well. Yeah, like I get emails sometimes of people saying, "Oh, I want to get into esports. How do I get into esports?"
Yeah.
And it's like I say, go to as many events as possible and just show that you're there, get involved, help out, with projects, even if it's just like on a volunteer basis. But I think a news portal that actually was quality content and would actually send those quality, writers to events. Would actually be the best step into esports.
Yeah, I actually have a lot of friends that doesn't follow esports that only read Rakaka. Like they read Rakaka and try to follow esports, but they don't really follow esports, if you know what I mean. So Rakaka is a great way to actually get new esport.
It's like a gateway
esport
drug.
Yeah, it is. You want to get back.
I mean, honestly, like our community here are already kind of kick ass. They basically do the news for this show better than we do.
Yeah.
Like they find it instantly and they post it. And there's no reason that they couldn't just be doing that in one place as well, like which is different. And I'm sure a lot of the guys that are involved with us wouldn't mind, you know, getting an article about Dota or something, you know, even if it's just a standard, this guy won this, but then also having some opinions, because we've got some, you know, really like avid fans of different games. Like we've got a Hellspawn as well, which is obsessed with Dota. And we've got a Mr. X, which is obsessed with BLC. And we got a Dern. You guys got a Dern at Rakaka?
Dern's
You'd want a
amazing.
Dern. Derns are amazing. They organize people, Derns.
He's
Very
like that
nice.
guy in Prometheus.
Huh?
He's like that guy in Prometheus that drives the ship.
Yeah, that's Dern is. He's the guy in Prometheus, the guy who drives the ship. So,
But don't you feel that a community like the UK one, haven't they missed a good like UK website
Yes.
back in the days? Like,
Yeah.
I actually feel that one of the reasons Sweden have a good or functional esport community is because of Fragbite and Rakaka, because you keep the community together. And I think all countries need that kind of website,
Yeah.
and the UK should have
I mean,
one.
it's a really good way to get more people interested as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the UK do have Cadred, and they used to have this UK counter-terrorist site as well, for 1.6, but I mean, they were never... Yeah, no.
That's a classic.
I
ES
mean,
Reality, of
Cadred-
course.
I mean, ES
Yeah.
Reality is kind of UK-ish
But
as well, but they have never been like community sites. Well, I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
Never got to the standard of Rakaka at least.
Robert's calling me poor, but with a smooth mouth.
Calling you poor?
Yeah, it says I'm
Yeah.
poor.
Yeah.
We're
You
all
are.
poor. And he's-
Compared to him.
compared to Robert, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Stealing
just
money
rich
off
from his
Dreamer.
family. You know, he's not even that intelligent enough to be richer. If I had his start, billionaire. Him, he's only a Zimbabwean millionaire. All right. Fuck you, Robert. Yeah, so it's nice to know what you think of news in terms of some of the esports side of things. I also think it's worth actually going on to a piece of news. I don't know if you guys heard this, which is actually more about the community. For those of you who don't know, how do you say that guy's name?
Can you get...
Kenneget did a vlog on Team Liquid.
I hate the word vlog.
You hate the word vlog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Kenneget did a video where he spoke with audio
His opinions.
about his opinions, and basically it was a vlog that was kind of I kind of skimmed through it in a way. I have to admit, I hate talking about things I don't know everything about, but I don't know everything about everything. But it kind of was talking about the kind of social growth of some of our celebrities in terms of within the sport bubble. You know, like within our social dynamics and how we're growing. Did you actually get to watch it, anybody?
No.
Yeah, I
think-
watched it a couple of days ago when he actually released it, I think. I thought it was a really interesting video, actually. I mean, he's gotten a lot of flack for it, I think, because, I mean, parts of the video is basically him propping up himself a bit in ways, but I mean, he's got a lot of good points, basically.
And what were those good points?
What he's saying is that a lot of the people now are becoming really famous and popular in the StarCraft community, or I guess most communities. They used to be, I mean, nerds basically, living in their parents' basements or whatever, basically playing video games, and now they're really popular, and a lot of them can't actually handle it, and it kind of shows at events. That's what I'm getting, at least from the videos.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got as well.
Yeah.
So, do you find much?
And I mean, they never had the opportunity to make these mistakes that they're doing now before when they were in school and stuff like that. I think that's a big part of it as well.
Yeah, I think it's actually a lot of truth to what he said. And but do you see that as a bad thing? Because honestly, I don't.
I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, if they want to, if they want to party and make mistakes and stuff, why not?
Well,
I mean,
the
everything you do, you learn from your mistakes and you grow up. Basically, I mean,
Yeah.
they need to grow up sometimes. They can't be like in this sheltered world.
Yeah, it's just one of those things within esports right now, which I think is happening. I think he is correct. I think a lot of people, in terms of their social ability when growing up at school, probably because either they were in different social groups, that they weren't having a lot of spotlight attention. Now they're getting it. They're kind of going through that high school period within esports, where you have a lot of people looking at you, and you can, how you react and act for the first time. You're kind of testing out the water in so many ways.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And he kind of pointed out a little bit of the situation between Total Biscuit, Jeff, also Idra as well. Where Total Biscuit called EG's house like a frat house, and then Jeff was went back and made some very funny remarks. But I think it's quite relevant just to come off the end of a Rakakar, because Rakakar is about the news and the stories, and it's also about the headlines, right?
Yeah.
And I don't see it as a bad thing that some of these people, if you can say, are making mistakes. But really what they're doing is they're making stories.
Yeah. Well.
And I just don't see it as like a bad thing in terms of people having to carry themselves so much differently. Because at the end of the day, we're kind of, esports is also a little bit reality TV.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a bad thing, Greykarn, in terms of how some people are handling their fame just on the top end of the scale?
Not really. I don't see the bad side with, if you look at some organizations, some teams are so scared to get in the news. Like, honestly, everything Naneva have done, for example, is actually good for him. Because
that's what I told him.
Yeah,
he was angry at me
because he's probably the most interesting StarCraft 2 player in the world. You're afraid when watching the stream when he's playing.
Why? Why would you say that?
He can write anything. He can do anything. He can quit the game. It's an amazing tension when you watch him. You never know where this ends. You know what I mean? So he's created his own brand. I think Idra did the same in a different way.
Well, Idra is predictable. You always
that's
know he's gonna
interesting.
quit.
But I think I haven't seen the vlog or whatever. But I think that the bad part is basically the social behavior, or let's say that they can't really handle their real life sometimes. Yeah. Some players, I've actually talked to an old Counter-Strike player that was really, really good, and he has stopped playing now. And he said that all good Counter-Strike players that played on professional level had problems during their teenage periods in some way. Either they had weight problems, or they had problems in school, or they had some kind of problem that forced them to actually sit at home and play 7 days a week. I'm not saying he's I'm not saying he's right, but
no, like when
I think
people
esports, the best players need to practice so much, so that's maybe needed. Unfortunately,
you need to be fucked up to be good at esports.
Yeah,
no, but that's what I said to a lot of people. They said, how did esports and these best players become the best? And I said, well, actually, there's different ways in. And I said it's quite weird because some of them might actually have just been anything from bullied massively or trouble with parents at home, that they use video games as an scapegoat, and then they just got obsessively good at them, and then they actually found there was really, I think you call it light at the end of the tunnel, because they have created their own social circle, friends, jobs, and a place where they can grow as people. And I think people are still growing in the esports industry, so I don't think it's a bad thing at all. But when some industry people ask me about the clientele in terms of what they're getting involved with, I tell them there's this, and then there's also the people that just love competing. There's people that were subjected to it as a social just a social group, something fun to go to an internet cafe. There's so many different ways in, but it's sometimes you do have that as well. So that's I just thought I'd bring it up because people wanted to talk about it, and it seemed like it wasn't a bad thing what he was saying, but he was more just objectifying that that's what's happening. But I don't think it's bad for esports at all, because it really goes into the stories. And I said to Naniware as well, and I said, look, I'm sorry I said that you were going to kill Hellspawn or whatever it was. But I was like, but no offense, I'm actually doing you a huge favor in PR because everyone knows you're that bad guy. And if that story comes out, you're in the news again.
Yeah.
And, I get in the news for bad things because I say shit all the time. I used to do it on purpose with Fatality when I wasn't very professional. I stole his tiger at a tournament, and then when I did that, everyone was writing about me, and I punched some Mexican guy, and everyone was writing about me, and I was like, and then Fatality really didn't like me.
When did you punch a Mexican guy?
Oh, that was just, when I went down the shops this morning. No. It was
that when
like
you were visiting in Los
it was just this UT player. And then I did it all in the same tournament, and afterwards I saw these threads. Huh?
The Dutch guy in...
No, I don't remember his name, to be honest. But anyway, after the tournament, there were more posts about me than there was the winner, because I stole Fatality's tiger, and I became like really quite famous. And I felt bad, but then I actually, because Fatality didn't like me, I didn't purposely like pick on him and compare myself to him. But back in the day, if there was any ever game between us or something to be said, and I already put myself in this place where I could say something because he didn't like me. If I said it, it was actually good for my career and good for his, because I was putting my brand name against Fatalities when I was very young.
Yeah.
So
it's like the Jersey Shore of esports. You're Snooki or someone.
I'm Snooki.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
Too Snooki.
Yeah.
Hard life.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Another good topic in this week, which also goes around a bit of the drama. It's not really drama, this isn't drama, but it's someone that actually gets his face into esports a lot, is FXO Boss.
Who?
And we're going to get to this. We're going to get to this. So FXO Boss basically runs a blog on, I think it's Tumblr. I can't remember the URL directly, and I'm sure I'll get that for you guys soon. But FXO Boss, I don't know what his job is within FXO, because he's
running the
FXO
team.
Boss.
He's running the team.
Yeah, he's running the team. But FXO is bigger than just a team, and there's like an investment group or something as well within
It's
FXO.
basically currency exchange thingy.
And he was streaming on Owned, then he went to Twitch, and now he's gone to YouTube. And within this blog, he explained why, for FXO, making the move to YouTube for their media content in one place is actually better for them. And I wouldn't normally have this guy on the show because everything that he has to say has been explained in his blog. But he's kind of self-invited himself. So I figure, fuck it, let's just have him on anyway. And then we'll try and be nice to him. So I've actually got him. I've never met the guy before.
No, me neither. I just read some of his blogs.
But everyone knows about him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. We all know about FXO Boss, right? You know about him?
Yeah, that's because we link the blogs and laugh at it.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. So he says he doesn't know how good his mic is because he's not at the house. But we're going to ring FXO Boss now, have him on the show, and basically meet the last megalomaniac in esports, because we've got Sundance in America, Robert DH, Boss DH here, as well as me, admittedly, and now we've got one in Australia. So let's call him up and hopefully he answers. And then we're actually getting to some more news. Hello, FXO Boss, can you hear me? Oh, FXO Boss.
Awkward.
FXO Boss, you just hung up.
You put your mic on, bitch.
Oh, bollocks. He could still hear me if it was over there. I'm going to call him again. This would help, admittedly.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you all right.
Welcome to the show, FXO Boss.
I didn't really invite myself. I just said I was available.
Dude, you totally invited yourself. The amount of tweets that we got from you,
Something
okay?
about your bum.
Yeah. If we didn't have you on the show, huh?
I was passing on the followers.
Yeah, it's okay. So we read your blog, and basically it states that YouTube, the new choice for FXO, and you stated a lot of reasons in there. You know, you stated some of it wasn't about money because, you know, you already do a lot of exchanges in terms of, you know, the company FXO. But do you want to just kind of break down what you think of the future of streaming and why YouTube might not just be good for you, but for other people? Just quickly for our viewers.
Actually, I don't think YouTube's very good for anyone else because they don't allow you to promote your sponsors.
Yeah, that was a big point in the thing. Is that just on your VODs or was that on live streaming?
That's on anything that potentially will be monetized. So if you're getting sponsorship money, you have to give some of that to YouTube.
So why have you decided YouTube is going to be fine for you? I know you don't have, as you mentioned, you're not Fnatic Raid Cool, and you're not, you know, you don't have like a title sponsor, but you do still work with people like Razer, etc. But why for you does this work? Like, how do you keep your sponsors happy on this, or what's the big objective for FXO by using YouTube?
Well, our objective is just to get everything in one place. Because at the moment everything's kind of scattered about, and we don't have the organization, the size of the organization to keep track of everything and to edit everything. So if it's just in YouTube, it's quite easy. So we've hired two guys, the two guys will look after it, no problem.
But at the same time then, if you can't monetize things with sponsors, but in your blog you said you don't really, like, the money you get from YouTube isn't a big deal to FXO in terms of the organization, correct?
Right.
So then my question to you is, why not monetize off Twitch TV in terms of streaming or own 3D, and then promote your sponsors so your sponsors are happy, and then just put your content also on YouTube, but have it as a, you know, non-monetized. So you still have the YouTube audience, which you don't make money off, because you said in the thing you don't care because you do exchange of like 70, I think it was million or something in the exchange currency with FXO. But then you still hit the core esport audience as well as promote and keep your sponsors happy on Twitch TV. So why have you decided one or the other?
Because on Twitch TV and on YouTube, the amount of money you make is pretty much the same, and it's worthless.
But you said the money doesn't matter. But
yeah, it doesn't matter. But then I have VODs on Twitch and VODs on YouTube and VODs on Owned and VODs everywhere.
But that's
it's
good.
It's better just to be in one place.
So basically, FXO Box, I can't understand why you moved to YouTube, apart from you're very lazy and you want everything in one place. Tell me a better reason, damn it. Give me a better reason.
All right. You've got me. All right. YouTube has a lot of things coming up in the future, and it's not just esports based, but it's something I want to be involved in with our up and coming studio that we're looking at building. Like with YouTube, in order to stream at 720p with YouTube, you have to buy a TriCaster.
Yeah.
You cannot do it without a TriCaster, which means that any individual streamer, it's just not going to happen. They're actually looking at actual TV stations on YouTube. Like, that's what YouTube's target is.
Content.
It took us, it's not just content, it's actual TV style content.
Yeah.
It's having a schedule, having a program, being able to put that program up a month in advance or a week in advance, and for people to have your channel on their television.
Okay, then that makes sense, and it's good for everyone to know, because in the end of the day, within streaming, as you probably have noticed with the trends, the people that remain a high level of content as well as production quality are keeping and getting more viewers. And Twitch TV, as you probably have noticed in terms of some of the, maybe not philosophy of the company, but some of how they work, is they'll be very happy to own the network which can distribute the services. They can also be quite happy to support people in terms of supporting esports, maybe in prize money, etc. But what Twitch TV aren't doing is they're not looking to kind of invest into the content of a TV quality product, which means that Twitch TV are a open service where everyone can use, but Twitch TV aren't going into someone's company and going, we really like what you do, we'd like to own a part of it and make sure that this stays on Twitch TV. So are you saying that YouTube are actually looking to, when they partner with, say, this TV network, or no, the TV channel or the quality content, are they willing to go in with a partnership deal where there's money from YouTube coming in to the content producer? Or are they still just asking you to be good at what you do, and then they're happy and support you?
It's still undecided because everything's still in the beta phase. Like, for instance, in their the Wirecast for YouTube, which is the program they use to stream, the actual advertising button doesn't work. Does that make sense? Like, if you click it, there's like a 20% chance an ad will actually show up, because it's not ready yet. So in terms of the future, I don't even think they know where they're going. All I know is that they're looking towards online television, and that's the direction I want to go as well.
All right, okay. Well, now we know why in so many ways. But let's also talk a little bit about you, FXO boss. A lot of people probably have heard of you from your blogs. A lot of people probably know the team FXO, especially from StarCraft. So do you just want to give us a little introduction in terms of who you are, what you do, and what FXO is?
Okay, I am the director of FX Open Investments, one of 6 of us. I entered the company just because I'm an Australian. There's no other reason, really. They needed an Australian, and they found me. And then after my project in Sydney was finished, where I set up our company there, I got moved to Malaysia, and now I'm doing esports on the side of running the business.
How long have you been involved in esports?
Well, I've played StarCraft since 1998. Before that, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 1, Mortal Kombat on Sega Master System.
What do you also, what do you bring to the table to FXO in esports? What are your fundamental, I wouldn't say qualities, but what are your tasks? What do you look after with FXO?
In FXO or the esports?
Just esports.
Esports, I'm sort of just overseeing everything. The main person that does things is Unstable. You might know him, he casted in GSL at one stage with Wolf. And then we've got Frequency, and Railkun is there, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
We don't really have much else. I just oversee what they do and make sure that the business decision is the one that the company wants, and that's pretty much it.
I want to ask about your blog, if you don't mind. I don't know you so well, so it's really hard to string a bunch of interesting questions together, but the thing I know about you the most is your blog, right?
And how illiterate I am?
Not how illiterate you are, but you have a lot of opinions, man. Seriously, your blog is... you have, why did you start this blog? What were the reasons? And what are you hoping to achieve from it?
I really don't know why I started the blog. I guess, I don't know, I got bored one day. A lot of people ask me to blog, and...
Wait, Semmler just hit the bullshit button. You have to apologize. Go on, we're going back to the blog. You don't know why you started the blog, but...
Originally, I don't know why I started. I know why I continued it.
Yeah? Why did you continue?
Paid attention. It's nice if people pay attention.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? We were talking about people in esports that sometimes do media, not crazy media stuff, but make sure they get the attention out there. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Word.
Oh, attention whore.
Yeah, that's the word.
Now,
that's a short.
Yeah, but do you feel that your blog gives enough insight to esports and who you are, or do you feel it's more of an outlet for attention whoring?
it's not my job to give more detail to esports.
Okay.
But the thing is, you're a director of a company called FXO, which is a big company. You're one of these people, obviously, that is in Australia. You can talk to a lot of the pros out there, and like you obviously have a lot of knowledge in different things because you're doing business with YouTube and some of that stuff there. But it's like, what are your focuses on with the blog? I mean, because sometimes when I read it, I'm like, okay, I think it's nice that I get someone else's perspective on some stuff, but I also think that, at the same time, it's maybe not as like detailed as I would want the blog to be. So,
I get it. I understand what you're saying. It's hard to not piss people off. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
And there are certain people that you don't want to piss off, and this comes into business experience. Like someone like EG, you don't want to piss EG off.
You can piss EG off. They're all a bunch of wankers. In Control's a cunt. Alex Garfield's too young to have that company, and Sir Scoots is a paedophile. It's easy. I just did it, right? So now you say what the fuck you want to say.
Let's go on to Kenneget's blog, right? What he says, the things that he's been saying, has been pissing me off for a long time, and it's not because it's false. It's because it's true. There are people, and like, fine, if you're in the media and you want to be a cunt for PR, that's fine. I don't mind.
But what are you being for PR?
Me, I'm doing the same shit. People look at the FXO name.
All right. So.
What pisses me off is that behind the scenes, like, okay, in public, if you piss EG off, then it might not say anything. But behind the scenes, you get stabbed in the back so badly, you just don't want to do it anymore. It's happened. Like, this is the thing. It's happened. That's why I don't blog anymore.
But you've got an army of blog followers now. You can use the force.
But the problem is they're nice people. They're not trolling. The only people who I could use the force are the people who call me an illiterate wanker.
All right.
I know my capabilities with the blog, and it's served its purpose.
Yeah, you're on the show. You've made it. This is the peak of your career.
Yes, I can retire now.
No. All right. I'm happy to have you on because it's nice to get to know you just a little bit on the show. But I will be following your blog. I don't know what to expect from it, but I will be very interested in knowing in terms of how the YouTube thing works out for you, because I think that is interesting for the whole of esports, because depending on...
Can I give you a sneak preview into what I'm going to be blogging soon?
Yes.
From Google AdSense text ads on my VODs for the Linux stream that happened 2 days ago.
Yep.
I made more money than I would have streaming with Twitch with 3 commercials after every game for 3 hours.
But you also said in your blog that was from a previous time on Twitch. How long ago was that on Twitch?
200 viewers. It's probably about 6 months.
6 months ago. So before CBSI were signed?
Well, from what I'm hearing from individual player streams, they're still not getting the fill rate.
But do you think people care about what you're hearing?
Well...
Or rather than what's actually happening?
I can't give you that little bit of information of the person who's telling me, because that person will actually cry very, very badly. I will do a test myself.
Yeah. If you get solid facts, everyone is interested to know, because...
I will get Choya to stream, because he gets 200 viewers, and I will get the details from that.
But get someone good. Get someone with like 1,000 viewers.
What are we verifying here?
I'm comparing the two. Linux stream with 200 viewers versus Choya who has 200.
Okay.
So I'll do that. I'll do that just for you.
Please.
And you can results on your show.
And then we get Twitch on the show, we get Own3D and YouTube all at the same time. And
yes, and have a Jerry Springer moment.
Yeah, we'll do that, FXO boss. All right, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's interesting reading your blogs and stuff, and I think it's very interesting to know what's maybe going to happen with YouTube, because I think that will affect all of us in esports. So the fact that you're on it first, I know Quantic have signed with Machinima, which is also a YouTube for some of the VODs. But I think that people will actually be genuinely interested in what you have to say, even though you are a bit of an attention whore. But we still love you.
Not so much anymore, but yeah, I get it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye. God. It's just a whole host of random shit going on today, isn't there?
Yep.
Fascinating individual, or
He seems very interesting. I would like to see him at more events in Europe so you can actually talk to him,
Yeah.
like not on camera, and actually get to know. And sorry about that, EG, you know, even if it's all true. We'll bring out a teddy bear and we'll be like, can you point to where Sir Scoots touched you? Oh, God. All right, so they know I say whatever, so it's not true. Let's do a break. All right, and then when we come back, we're actually going to get into some news, which will be great for you guys, won't it?
yeah, finally,
How'd you like my interviewing skills?
I think they're amazing.
yeah. Very
Oh my God, there's a fucking Snooky picture of me. I don't believe you fucking called me Snooky, Newman. Seriously.
Too snook.
It's in chat everywhere. Oh, that's right. I'm pretty
fucked
fucking
for life
hot
now.
with tits, man.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
No offense, but
That's
that
nice.
wouldn't bother me. That wouldn't bother me at all, those titties.
You'd never get anything done. You'd be too busy playing with them. Look
I'm
at my
thinking,
micro. Look
I'm
at my
thinking
micro.
taking some studio money.
No. We're doomed. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a minute, guys.